Alright, so here we are. This is not Act 4. This is, I'm going to be reading, just for the unengaged, or whatever the word is. Reading off basically the plot so far, with the racing in the background with the cars from Act 1. There's a minor change or two in there, but that's about it. Gearhead has his Act 2 SUV because the Act 1 one was terrible. I'm not in the championship, instead Raceman is in the car. Trying to get over the injury he got from in between turbo racing and now. Anywho. So we start with Soundtrack Challenge. In Soundtrack Challenge, a brief intro demonstrates the rules of the road, and it also shows us Ryan Storm, the announcer for the game, who becomes a major character throughout. In the first race, we meet one Alex Gwozdziowski, a longtime competitor in the game show, who is famous for driving the Red Vulture. By round 5, we encounter Burn, an alien life form who knows how to drive earthly machinery somehow. His car, Power Pipes, is a force in almost any race. And by the end, after winning the show, you are awarded with the Governor, the first golden car we will see. I was like, well, I look at the screen. Golden Tetrad. 4 cars who are all golden cars from different renditions of Soundtrack Challenge include the Governor, and also Bedlam, Swoopy-Doo, and 60 Angels, the self-proclaimed leader of the 4. Then to Burn and Rubber, and it's a rather laid-back affair, racing through generic locations such as a beach, a snowy area, or on a grand piano. A far cry from Soundtrack Challenge, where the finale is a race through a volcano. Alex is back, and we do meet a few new faces, but so fast, the fastest car in this game particularly is the big one here. Velocity X. Right off at the start, we meet Danny, named for the character Max Justice, sharing the VA of Nickelodeon character Danny Phantom. Danny is known for his aggression, as well as a somewhat concerning lust for destruction, which he does learn to control as he goes. He is known for piloting the green MST Suzuka, a vehicle of Japanese influence. Midway through, we meet his girlfriend, Sparky. She drives Headliner in this game, but she's more known for Sear Tuner in later on games. Max's father, or the Professor as he's more known, is also relevant later on, and he makes it known that his favorite car is Maelstrom. Then we go on to the GBA version, where Danny, Sparky, and Professor take a back seat. Gearhead, an assistant robot on the PS2 version and other consoles, is modified so that he is able to drive the cars, and he has quite the ego for being a robot, as is prominent in this game. And around midway through this adventure, Gearhead has to escort a drone version of a car known as XT3. Well, after this escort task is done, XT3 is modified to become a racer itself, and Gearhead is led to foster it into the racer that it might be able to be. Both games do have a similar goal: retrieve the prototype car that Otto von Diesel has stolen and defeat him. Though here in the GBA version, a robot named Metacog is a sidekick to Otto. However, after Gearhead, with a little help from Alex, shuts them down, Metacog is reprogrammed to be under his own control, and it chooses to join Team Hot Wheels. Otto has, however, still made his own versions of the prototype car, now largely harmless without the tools that Team Hot Wheels got back from him, so now it's just a really fast car. Metacog also has a strong taste for classic coupes, namely Hammered Coupe. After Velocity X, the next Soundtrack Challenge event begins, and Alex is of course ready from the start and goes to the very end. Governor, as well as Twin Mill, become more significant here. Twin Mill has been here this whole time, but by nearly winning, he makes himself more well known. This is also where Vert makes a very brief appearance. He is known from here on to drive Dior 2, most of the time. The whole thing, like the original STC NBR, is a pretty chill event, just a few guys racing for the sake of a race. These games are what I'd consider Chapter 1 of the story, introducing important things, cars, and drivers. The story really begins here after this one, though. Beat that. In this game, upscale versions of a bedroom, mini golf course, attic, and bowling alley are the locations. In this alternative version of them, there are weird occurrences going on, and physics seem to be really all over the place. Many drivers return here, one being Ryan Storm, who is now taking the wheel of 24/7, a vehicle of a similar design to MSC Suzuka, which is also here, still being driven by Danny. It is believed that Metacog was in the Demon, but no one is too sure. 16 Angels was the only golden driver to appear, and in the attic, a mysterious driver known as the Phantom Racer appears and seems intent on attacking the group from the inside out. However, these plans are weeded out awfully fast. So fast as once again a shining star, leading the pack despite all of the strange physics going on. These are found by So Fast to be being caused by a metaphysical entity which they choose to call that. Upon making the discovery, as if almost to confirm the idea, the physics get even wackier. As things get really bad, So Fast advises that everyone escape the bowling alley now. Sure enough, as they escape, the entire thing collapses, and Phantom Racer manages to follow them out. Shortly after, he reveals that he was Vert, having been controlled by that this whole time. The DS version, afterwards, where the group, now joined by Racecam, the camera from Soundtrack Challenge, is in a green 24/7. They retrace their steps through the bedroom, golf course, and attic in hopes of finding that character. Track Attack games. Upon finishing the search in this attic, a large group of drivers are whisked away through a portal. 16 Angels, Ryan, Racecam, Vert, Twinmill, and Mega Duty from Soundtrack Challenge are all taken. They arrive to find the governor, who has apparently been stuck here since GBA Soundtrack Challenge ended, and has been working on getting out. He explains that this thing that they describe put him in this situation, or put him in this simulation, where the tokens are the key to its power, and they can be the key to yours if you can get them all. Twinmill, Governor, and later on 16 Angels take point on this quest to escape. They encounter tons of clones of themselves, as well as one clone who calls himself the Dusted Angel, as it's been stuck in the desert. It is a clone of 16 Angels, and it quickly turned on that, however. As a result, it was buried in the sand for what it believes to be about 5 months. After reaching the city, Vat decides that he's had enough, and tries to destroy them all in the city, but it fails. And they escape to the second phase, which is the DS version. It's more of the same, really. Collect tokens to gain power within the simulation and stop that from doing unwanted things. This time though, even from level 1, things start to show some deterioration, as that unravels its own simulation to stop them, and then continues to fail. They return to the city, and after another failed assault from that, they all escape for real. It takes some convincing to get 16 Angels to go, as the number of tokens collected gave him the 51%, and so total control of the simulation. He had some fun, of course, but finally left his powers behind with the Dusted Angel in charge. With the conflict over, the game would start making plans to get that to face them directly. Conveniently, that has now manifested. It has become a car known as Slingshot, which was around in SDC, but never appeared in anything else. They create an event called the World Race, and the idea of all these fast drivers in an area gets that attention fast. Should probably look around the race a little bit, shouldn't I? This is a new car no one's seen before. The Cup car of a Mazda MX-5, which is a pretty common car in America, unlike most other cars here. GBA World Race. Here everyone, and I mean basically everyone, meets up for the beginning of the end, encountering shockingly less of that physical manipulation, and more experiencing their driving skill. Outside of an odd few events, however, not really much advances here. Now you're probably wondering how that came to be that in the first place. Well, it's a long story, more so than there was from almost any game. To try and make this long story short, though I will probably fail, that was originally actually part of the Golden Tetrad, the team of 5 who dominated the Soundtrack Challenge contests for an incredibly long time. However, in Show 16, that, or Slingshot at the time, was caught cheating with an illegal booster. The booster which would actually turn out to be some stolen amount of Dr. Justice's prototype superfuel. which can allow cars to go at twice their normal speed without breaking down or overheating. Slingshot, of course, was ousted from competition, and during this time he would still be able to watch later contests, and would watch Alex and Byrne rise through the ranks. Eventually, after seeing all of this, that starts to try and race again. After a sketchy event hosted in a forest about 200 miles from where Hot Wheels Stadium was, he finds a shed. This shed holds many strange objects. He grabs one such object and places it in his car. Now, if he turns on the headlights on his Slingshot, physics in the area become odd, as demonstrated by instantly uprooting a nearby tree. He sees this as a chance to ruin the Golden Tetrad for real. He enters the next STC event, since he was only banned for 3 events and it's been 9. So now event 25. He races his way through the tournament, giving Bedlam an engine failure in Gator Forest. Come Modelland, Governor and 16 Angels are some of his opponents, as well as Alex, Byrne, and Sidedraft. This was before certain cars were used specifically in challenges, which started in 27, where the player goes through. Angels and Governor agree that they need to get that out of here, and sure enough, on the final jump in Fire Mountain, a pit maneuver from Governor sends that spinning into the lava underneath the jump, and allegedly not to be seen again. However, after event 27, the stadium is relocated and the bowling alley is built there. This bowling alley is the one that PS2 takes place in. The module found in that shed is also working on recreating Slingshot into physical being. The group we follow tracks this module to the bowling alley, but can't actually find it. As soon as So Fast stumbles pretty close to it, it enters something of a meltdown mode. And after about 30 minutes, it destroys the entire bowling alley and relocates to the attic. When found there, it creates a portal which throws most of the group into the simulation that is Track Attack, and by the time they get out, Slingshot has been completely rebuilt, with more knowledge of its powers. Why is that doing this? Revenge on the Golden Tetrad for casting him aside over one mistake, all because his brother, 16 Angels, couldn't bear the idea of a blemish on his otherwise perfect record. He also just wants to be a racer again, and when actually racing, he often forgets his goal of revenge, but seeing anyone that incites his anger will make the memory of that come back quite fast. Excuse me. GameCube Golden Race, World Race. Here we are, the final event. Everyone is here except for Swoopy-Doo. A strange figure known as the Silhouette appears, here seemingly to only cause chaos in a race and nothing else. Vert wins the Rookie League easily, but falters in the Veteran one. Instead, Alex wins this one. However, in Elite, the final event of Elite, that has enslaved Zodic, and has Road Rocket to a system as well. However, So Fast, with the help of 16 Angels and Bedlam, wage battle. With So Fast crossing the now invisible finish line of a darkened racetrack to beat that once and for all. That loses, and with this, his module goes boom, completely destroying his engine. After some repairs, he finds he's given up largely on destroying the Golden Tetrad and just focuses on making his engine better, so he can just drive faster than them instead. In the aftermath, well, after the world race, that has the explosion which destroys his engine. The repairs are going on during turbo racing, therefore meaning he won't be a part of turbo racing because his car is being fixed. Of course, as you can see now, he is a part of Universe Zero. Driving kind of the lightweight midship cars that are pretty similar in concept to that of Slingshot. As with more or less anyone else, for that matter. Though, like, you know, obviously driving different cars, but really anyone could show up here. And that's the glory of it. I'm talking too much at one time, and my throat is no longer pleased. What the heck? Alright, what did I miss? Just don't tell me I was that early in the race. I kind of want to see this. It was pretty early in the race, apparently. Well, that's unfortunate. Metacog just suddenly died. I did leave before the race finished, but that's not really the problem. We're not here for the race, we're just here for that to have in the background. Doesn't do that. Oh. Nope. There we go. I think this might actually take me back to the top of the list. I don't know. Nope. Okay, well. There. So these are the vehicles for the next event. Might as well zoom in here. I've decided that it will start tomorrow. And really there should be not too many big surprises as far as like new characters that are showing up. But we have Byrne, who is in the Lamborghini Huracan. I just usually call it the Huracan, but I've heard it's usually the Huracan. Alex is switching to the LaFerrari. 16 Angels just gets a racing version of his normal car, the Corvette Stingray. Ryan Storm moves to a Ferrari 488 GT3. XT3 gets a BMW M3 GT2. Trust me, there isn't that much of a difference between GT2 and GT3. There's like a small amount of power difference, but also because GT2 was from 2011, the cars aren't quite as advanced. So it's kind of like small powered bonus, small handling loss. Gearhead, however, is an interesting vehicle, more based off of Lakester than it is based off of Super Tuned. He's in the Lotus Type 49. Otto von Diesel is in the McLaren F1 GTR. The vehicle that Hot Wheels Prototype 12 is literally based off of, as you might be able to see from this picture, though I don't know how well. That is in the McLaren MP412C GT3. A newer version with less power than the F1. But, of course, being, you know, much newer than the F1, like 15 years newer, has better handling. Swoopy-Doo finally arrives in a Pagani Huayra BC, which I don't know what that stands for. Danny is in a Ferrari 458 GT2. Vert is in the Mercedes AMG GT3. Blossom is in the Audi R8 LMS, which is Le Mans specification. I'll get to that one in a second. Twin Mill is in the Porsche 918 Spyder. And I am in the Tatus FA01. This would be about the equivalent of the Formula 3 machines, and you're probably thinking, Formula 3? That's a part of Formula 1. Yeah, but because of the low power, you know, inherent of this car, as I'll demonstrate in a moment, being, I think like, oh gee whiz. I want to say guess it's like probably 350 or so. Oh my god. Well, there you go. It might have the best handling, but it only goes up to like 145 or 150 miles an hour. So I'll be kind of the random one, I think, because I will be kind of like the wild card, like the XT3 or the Governor. And being on the track, of course, as well. If it's Black Cat County or Monza or the Highlands course, I'm not going to do anything. But at something such as Laguna Seca, especially if I start up near the front, I have the possibility to just run away with it. And this thing only weighs like 1,500 pounds, so that 200 horsepower doesn't have too much to move compared to, say, 500 horsepower in a car that weighs 3,000 pounds, like Danny's car from Act 1 through 3. And as for the track selection, the basic idea was I took the world tour aspect and kind of gave it a little bit of a twist. Essentially, what we're going to be doing here I'll be planning on just a four-parter here. These races might get a couple more laps or so. Maybe bring the public road tracks to 5 laps rather than 4. I'm not sure yet, though, to be honest. Basically, we are going from west to east across, like, the planet. Starting in California, and then going to New Mexico, then to Spain, then to Britain for 2 races, then to Scotland. Granted, Scotland's actually further to the west, but it'd be easier to end up starting in Great Britain from Spain than it would be to go from Spain to Scotland. So, geographically, it's inaccurate, but it'd be more convenient realistically speaking. Then we go to Belgium, and then we go to the Netherlands, then to Germany, then to Austria, and we finish with 2 races in Italy. Thing is, I can't add more races, so I'll have to just add more laps if at all possible. Which, I mean, it's possible. I'm kind of curious what the lap limit is. Is it like 99 maybe? Is there one? 100 laps. We're not doing that many. We'll be doing 6. Thank you very much. I have to go all the way back down. But not name. My name is Assetto Corsa. There we go. I might do a couple modifications now, actually. I want to get like the same average number of laps through a race, or through a series. That's 17. That's 17. That's 18. The idea board's kind of boring, so I might just bring that down to 5 laps. And that is 21, but that's also the final episode. And Monza and Red Bull Ring laps are pretty short, so I might just bring this down to 7 laps because it's pretty short, but Monza is staying at 8. So that'll be that. Yeah, you get it because that's right here. That'll be that. I'm funny. I'm not really. I never explained Madison here. So Madison, I think I mentioned in like one of the like part 4, maybe the final part of Act 3, that I had the idea of one of the additions being to the list, since I planned on having between 10 to 12 additions, not including myself. And I've already had, well, now there'd be 6. 6 would include me, so it'd actually be 5. I have 3 more planned. I don't count any kind of, like, plot-based ones. Like, the organizer, spoiler alert, will be racing. He'll show up in a race, just like that did, right at the end. Or towards the end, rather. So, he's necessary for the plot, meaning I don't count him as an addition. And my counting for an addition being besides my like Riker Lummel, which is actually a last minute thought here. This was originally the professor's car, but I realized, wait, if I'm gonna have Madison, I need to have myself. Basically, Madison is the name of a girl that I was really, really close friends with in school. When I was in public school. I'm homeschooling now, and we haven't talked in 3 years. At least not directly. But that's not so much my fault. She also moved away to, like, good ways across the country, meaning that it's obviously really hard to talk to her in person when she lives, like, 800 some miles away from me. We text every, like, week or so, but she's busy and I have no life, so it's just kind of like I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for the next shoe to drop. When she suddenly has, like, more than 20 minutes of not being, you know, having a full schedule to actually, you know, converse. But I put her here. She has a YouTube account, so there's no risk of her seeing this either, if anyone somehow is curious. But yeah, her favorite color was purple, and I managed to find the purple Nissan GTR for her to drive. But I figured if she is my real life friend, how would I ever get away with not having myself in the actual tournament? And as for the top screen here, you might notice that, yes, the point system is back to what it was in Act 1. 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, of course, trying to, like, you know, really kind of still punish your errors. Though if I wanted to punish a bad race, there is a thing, I think, where I can make the points to where the top 8 get points. Yeah, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because in both these other two, the top 10 would score. And this is the actual Formula 1 point system. This is kind of what I would call the Mario Kart point system, and this one's the, I think, doesn't, like, I want to say Hot Wheels Beat That on the PS2 uses this. I can't be too sure, though. I don't really know what kind of point system they use, but I think Mario Kart Double Dash might have used this. It's not an uncommon point system, and I've probably seen it somewhere at least once. And also, penalties are on. The idea of this one is to kind of, like, ensure that if somebody hits somebody, the game might notice and, like, do something about it, other than just having physics kind of, you know, do as they will with the other cars that are involved. So yeah, that's that. I keep saying that. Why do I keep saying that? I didn't want to actually change it to that. I want to keep it on these points. And so there we go. And do some twin mill drifting while I kind of finish off explaining a couple of things. And since apparently you want to see twin mill in red, here you go. But essentially, what an addition to me is a character where it's entirely my original idea to integrate them at all into any kind of Hot Wheels based plot. And on top of that, it's a character that Keybait, for all intents and purposes, has either denied or has claimed it is unlikely that he'll do anything with the character himself in any Hot Wheels series. The best examples of this being Beat and Blossom. Because Beat, you know, Jet Set Radio, well, Keyblade's already done, or you've already done LPs of that game. Meaning, why would he really be integrated into Hot Wheels? There's no point. He's already his own fleshed out thing somewhere else. Go be a character someone else. Go be a character somewhere else. This thing is kind of hard to get sliding until you're in, until you hit the handbrake or you start going really fast, like higher in first gear. Okay, let me get out of the grass here. And then we have Blossom, which you have entirely stated that I should probably handle any plot relating to the Powerpuff Girls because you don't intend to do anything with them in the Hot Wheels plot. And and I believe you basically outright said that you have no interest. You did say at one point that you might play you planned to maybe LP one of their games, but you never said they would be part of the Hot Wheels plot. And I don't really blame you there. Most of these editions are for partially comedic value, partially personal value, or just partially homage type value, like, you know, characters like Beat, who have, you know, been in games that have had some sort of, like, significant impact on your channel. Oof! That was not what I wanted. No, this isn't addicting. Be quiet. Son of a... Okay. This is embarrassing. Okay, we'd like to end the combo now. There we go. What's odd is that if you want to be time efficient, you actually want to get just enough to reach the next level and get the time bonus. Because time bonuses don't stack. If you go from level to 10 to like level 13 in one drift, you'd only get the credit for level 13, I think. Of course I do it that way because I'm not weird and I don't really care about high scores that much. You know, so I care, but it's like, great, it's not like I'm using any kind of like international leaderboard on it. None of these 10,000 some points would pale in comparison to what some people probably in like Brazil or Italy can do with this game on here. Oh my god, I got one tire in the grass. No, I wish to go straight and score the points, please. This is not straight. And that's why I wanted to go straight. That gets really annoying. When you've got enough points to reach the next level and the game just doesn't seem to want to get the points. Oh, why did I even try that? I knew it would work. I might just have these kind of drift sessions after every tournament now. If something of like some story time, maybe some sort of exposition, or like further elaborating on what certain things might have meant in earlier parts of the commentary. They'd be Hot Wheels related stories, of course, or at least somehow related to Hot Wheels. If not to this particular thing, then maybe like things I wanted to explain about like other things related to Hot Wheels or to Keyblade's channel. Like how I've watched other videos besides all the Hot Wheels videos. I just only started commenting on all the Hot Wheels videos when I saw fit to explain to this unknowing player how to play Velocity X better. Make the experience better for everyone involved. Myself, him, the other viewers. You know, by explaining a few of the intricacies the game has, and World Race and Simpler Challenge had a few of those players, but I was the only one that even tried on Velocity X, since I was the one who knew more about it than I even really had any right to. That's the end of that. Because I just cut the grass. I can do more than that, but I just got too crazy. I do the occasional hot lap too while I'm at that, but so the drift course is in Japan, but you couldn't put anything else there. Even if it wasn't a real racetrack. I just want something in Japan. There's plenty of tracks there. There's Fuji, Suzuka, Okayama, I think is what it is. Nagoya. There's a couple of tracks they make out of the docks. There's like gonna make a highway track like the Wangan, which is a pretty common thing used in games like TXR, Tokyo Extreme Racer. Then you could make something up too. I mean, I've seen plenty of PC mods put in Mount Akino, which is from the manga Initial D, which is like where ideas for like the design on cars like the 8.6, and you could even see that writing's there for a reason, and also the inspiration for some of the tuning that went into this RX-7. This is Ryan Storm's car, as you know. Well, this is actually his car, and even still, that stripe isn't there in the show, but this is a big, like, popular car in the show, because he's, like, the secondary character in the entire thing. There's Metacog's car. But icon there means that it's a DLC car. So, like, I can't use this car down here. And some of the DLC cars kind of suck that I have no access to them, because I would like to use a few of them. Like this one. Which would probably fit in pretty well with Act 5. Or this one, which would fit in decently well possibly right now. But I wouldn't know, because I can't use it. This means the car is tuned, and it's weird because in the case of the Countach, this is Burns' car. The one on the left is the one that he'd always been in, because this one is actually a worse car. Yeah, it has like 60 extra horsepower, but it has, you know, no front wing on it, meaning that the power you have is even harder to control, and therefore you can't turn as well as you can in the stock one. meaning that that car would lap most tracks about almost an entire second slower than the version that you saw Burn using the entire time. You can also just look at a full list of all of the cars as well, which I didn't know about. This is a lot of cars, by the way. I believe it's 22 pages of 8 cars each. And then 2 extra cars, meaning that we have 178 vehicles to choose from. Though, of course, a handful of them are, like I said, DLC, so really I have closer to 174. 173. 172, 170. Are these subjects getting kind of frustrating yet? Because they're frustrating me just a tiny bit. I have 168 choices. And yet I still can't find 15 that are balanced with each other. I mean, we don't know. This group might be balanced. This might be the closest term we've had yet. I don't know, because it only isn't starting yet. It's starting tomorrow. Because it's 4 a.m. when I can't be bothered to record the first part of another act when I have, well, obviously want to watch, you know, the next part of the official videos in like 40 minutes. So, well, 45 minutes. So that's your plot reading. I'll probably put in some sort of timestamp in the description as to where you can stop watching for anything else if you just wanted to hear the plot, or, you know, obviously if you want to hear everything else that's not the plot, if you want to watch it for yourself. But other than that, yeah, that's going to be all for now, and hopefully tomorrow I will be able to, or probably be able to record Part 1 of Act 4, which is Grand Touring. I changed the name from The Chase to Grand Touring.